manual transmission is a skill, and a very good skill. It's a dying skill, and if you want to hone that skill, then learning how to rev match downshift and heel toe downshift are your next steps. Rev match downshifting and heel toe downshifting yield to smoother driving. It's easier on the car, and if you're in a high performance setting, it's almost essential if you want to be fast. So we're going to learn how to rev match first. Now let me show you the difference between a regular downshift and a rev match downshift. First, the regular downshift. I'll be going from third to second, and I'm going about 50 kilometers an hour. You see how the car just kind of lurched forward and it didn't sound all that great? And it's also uncomfortable for everyone who's riding with you. Now let's do a rev match downshift. We're in third gear. I'll go from third to second and I'll rev match it. Much smoother. The car didn't lurch forward, and it sounded a lot better too, and it's much easier on the clutch. To learn how to do this, we'll be going from third to second gear. Now I recommend doing this about 30 miles an hour or 50 kilometers an hour. Now I'm in second gear and I'm looking at my revs and I'm about 3,000 RPM. So now what I'll do is I'll go into third gear, and when I go to downshift, when I push the clutch in, I'll rev the throttle till it's about at 3,000 RPM, and that will rev match the engine to the next downshift. Ready to downshift, clutch in, 3,000, just like that. 60 kilometers an hour, clutch in, gas. Now we can experiment with different speeds, so we can go into second gear again and go up to 70 kilometers an hour. We're almost at 4,000 RPM. So back into third, and when we shift, when we put the throttle, we'll rev it to about 4,000 RPM. Like that. Do it one more time. So what you can do is you can practice at different speeds to get a feel of where to rev in between your downshifts. So you can go from third gear to second gear at 80 kilometers an hour or 50 kilometers an hour, or you can go from fourth to third and go at 100 kilometers an hour. And if you figure out what RPM you're going to be at in the gear you want to downshift into at the speed you're going at, you can rev it to that much when you downshift, and that'll help you get a better feel for how to do all of this. So now that you've learned how to rev match downshift, it's time to do it while you're braking. And you're not actually using your heel. If you actually try and use your actual ball of your heel, it's very awkward and very uncomfortable. What you're actually using is the side of your foot. It should really be called side of foot downshifting instead of heel toe downshifting. So let me demonstrate that for you now. So my foot's on the brake, and I'm going from third to second. So from the brake, just like that. Now getting the feel for this can be kind of awkward at first, so a great way to do it is when you're parked and just practice rotating your foot off the brake pedal and onto the gas pedal. And to make this a little easier, you want to position your foot slightly to the right of the brake pedal, and this will give you a little bit more room to work with when you're touching the gas pedal. Going to third gear, coming to a stop from the brake, just like that. This is a very visual exercise. It's hard just to explain it perfectly to you. I have to show you. So we're in fourth gear. I'm going to start slowing down now. So let's go from fourth all the way down through to first. Go from fourth to second. It is a lot of fun ripping around doing this and showing you guys how to do it. It makes you feel like you're driving a race car and I'm not even braking. So once again, there's plenty of awesome reasons of why you want to learn how to do this. It's easier on your clutch, it's easier on the car. It makes driving a lot more fun. And if you're in a high performance setting like a track day, autocross, or you're racing, if you want to have a nice smooth drive and go fast, these are techniques that you'll want to learn. Trust me, you won't regret learning these techniques because it is a lot of fun. happy downshifting.